Bowl souvenirs, Super Bowl pennants,
Super Bowl programs. Get your Super Bowl programs.
The Super Bowl, America's winter sports spectacle. Eight of the 10 biggest television audiences ever assembled were watching Super Bowls. Indeed, on Super Sunday, the world is football's stage.
E di vincere finalmente, tornare a casa grande senza la nomea di una squadra perdente. Vedremo se riuscirà in questo e ovviamente tutto il peso di questo va sulla difesa nel fermare Joe Montana.
La trayectoria de Joe Montana de ganar un cuarto supertazón, algo que solo ha hecho
サンフランシスコ 49ers、 こちらの方はやはりエースクォーターバックジョー・モンタナです。
Okay, baby, this is something we worked our off for all year. Let's go out there and have some fun.
Don't think about anything else but doing it starting the first play of the game.
Give it everything you got on every snap, huh?
We know we're the best team.
You got an opportunity to be world champs right now. You can be what you want to be, all right?
And it's worth $70,000 and a big ring.
It's an event where larger-than-life heroes create moments that become part of the nation's sports consciousness. This show is an anthology of such moments. Some very good. Some very bad. A few quite funny. Others rather sad.
Back to throw Montana. Steps up, throws. Touchdown! Touchdown! A 10-yard pass. The 49ers have scored with 34 seconds remaining.
A ticket to Super Bowl I cost $7.50. The game featured a team from Missouri and a team from Wisconsin and was played in the LA Coliseum. Curiosity brought out the Beverly Hills paparazzi. But the game itself failed to sell out. The central figure in this inaugural contest was Kansas City Chief cornerback Fred Williamson, known to his admiring fans as the Hammer.
If I tell you that Boyd Dowler is not going to catch a pass, it's because I believe it. If I tell you Garrell Dell is going to be spending half the game on his behind, it's because I believe it. As a matter of fact, the first fake Boyd Dowler gave me, they carried him off the field after that. He caught one pass, was slanting over the middle, and I said, this is just what I'm looking for. Here's a guy 6'7", 6'8", coming across on a slant end on the hammer. And I hit him with everything that I had, and they took him off the field because the shoulder was no longer normal.
Enter reserve wide receiver Max McGee, whose pregame preparation did not receive the Vince Lombardi seal of approval.
I just had to go out and see the lights on Sunset Strip, so out I went, and as you go in the bars, you meet people, and I met a couple of airline stewardess from Chicago. I definitely made breakfast the next morning with the team, and I felt pretty doggone, I didn't feel that bad, but I didn't expect to get in this football game. And when Bart threw the first touchdown pass, as the film shows, Bart got a little rush on and threw a pretty bad pass, and it was behind me. And I said, well, I better reach back and try to break up this interception. And that's when I reached back, and the ball stuck right there. I mean, just the end of the ball right there, and I put it under my arm. Looked like we'd practiced it all year, So that was the first Super Bowl touchdown.
The prodigal pass catcher scored twice, And the game's most pivotal play was also its most memorable. Willie Wood's second-half interception, the catalyst for a 3-touchdown outburst that resulted in a decisive 35-10 Packer victory. Oh, yes. And as for the hammer...
I had set myself up because I was the Pied Piper. The Green Bay Packers are going to get the hammer. Donnie Anderson came around, and his knee hit me right on the smack right here in the forehead, and I went down. And I was a little woozy.
The hammer! You know who got hurt? The hammer. The hammer! They nailed the hammer. Hey, Slap, the hammer got it!
I'm the clown of the football field now because I'm out. They got the hammer. They said, come on, get up. And I refused to get up. I'm embarrassed. They came and they dragged me off the field and dumped me on the sidelines. When they dumped me, I jumped up and I waved at my fans to let them know I was all right.
Prior to Super Bowl III, New York Jet quarterback Joe Namath made even more noise on behalf of the old AFL. Said Namath, "We'll win. I guarantee it."
Coach Eubank was very upset. He was sure that what I had said earlier about the guarantee was going to fire up the Baltimore Colts. It's a very good thing that we won, because had we not won the game, I don't know where I'd be today.
Today, he's in the Hall of Fame. His reward for engineering the greatest upset in Super Bowl history. A loss made even more painful for the Baltimore Colts by quarterback Earl Morrall's famous flea flicker volley.
In the film, I'm 37 yards away from the closest guy. And why Earl didn't get there, I don't know. Whether he didn't look, didn't see me, it's hard to say. You have to go back. You'd have to ask him, and I don't think he wants to answer that question. He may not know the answer.
How does Morrall remember his moment of Super Bowl infamy?
Instead of looking at Jimmy Orr, who's standing wide open in the end zone, waving his hands, and I see the fullback and try to steer it to him, and it gets intercepted there. It's one of those things that I guess it just wasn't in the books for us. We were heavily favored and couldn't believe that it did happen. Just unbelievable. And you think about your career as, gee, I'm on top of the world, and all of a sudden, bang, I'm at the bottom. And I think that's one of the things the Super Bowls do to you, that you have a great season. If you don't win that Super Bowl, it seemed like the whole season just went down the drain.
A myth was buried, and a legend was born. Yet one still must wonder, what if that flea flicker hadn't gotten all fouled up?
Here come the Redskins with 12 seconds to go in the half. Trailing 14-3.
Earl Morrall wasn't the last quarterback to have a moment of myopia become a Super Bowl turning point.
Intercepted! Jack Squirrek! Touchdown Raiders! Holy Toledo! Screen pass, and they looked like they knew it was coming. I guarantee they looked like they knew that play was coming.
In a meeting earlier that season, a Joe Theismann to Joe Washington screen pass in an identical game situation caught the Raiders by surprise and set up a Redskin field goal. Raiders assistant coach Charlie Sumner remembered this strategy. In Super Bowl XVIII, he sent linebacker Jack Squirek into the game for the express purpose of shadowing Joe Washington. Squirek stayed with his man, and Theismann never saw him.
An electrifying, stunning development as Jack Squirek becomes the proud possessor of a Super Bowl XVIII touchdown.
The Redskins could not recover from this setback. 2 years earlier, it was the Cincinnati Bengals who were victimized by a spirit-crushing defensive effort. Midway through the third period, the Bengals had 4 downs to score from the 3-yard line.
Here are the Bengals now as Ken Anderson is ready from the 2-foot line, calling signals on 4th down, has the ball, hands it off. He's headed the goal line. I don't believe he got in. I don't believe he's in there. The 49ers have held.
The 49ers defense seized the moment, and the Cincinnati Bengals fell by the wayside. But the single most decisive defensive play in Super Bowl competition occurred in game number 5. With just seconds remaining and the score tied at 13, Mike Curtis's interception set the stage for a cool rookie place kicker.
At that point, we knew it was going to be a field goal, and at that time, Coach McCafferty, yelled to John Sandusky to get the field goal team ready.
Tell all the guys on the field team, don't get set until you tell them to set. Tell them all not to set until you tell them to set, and if they overload one side, give a man over right, a man over left.
And I was standing on the sideline going crazy. I said, you gotta do it. You gotta hit it. And he was so calm it didn't make sense. He said, I'm gonna do it. Everything is cool.
We're gonna win this game.
I was begging, pleading, come on, Jim. And as soon as he hit the ball, the sound of it, I knew it was gonna be good.
O'Brien is ready. 9 seconds showing on the clock. The Cowboys and the Colts all tied up. There is the snap. The kick is up. It is long enough. It hits! A 32-yard field goal by Jimmy O'Brien. It is good. And the Baltimore Colts have just won themselves the Super Bowl if they can last out the last 5 seconds.
My best kick of my life, and I was, very fortunate to be able to be in that spot and to be successful.
Despite Jim O'Brien's kick and Mike Curtis's interception, Dallas Cowboy linebacker Chuck Howley was named the game's MVP, the first defensive player and only member of a losing team ever to be so honored. The fact is, outstanding defensive performances usually go hand in hand with Super Bowl victories. A real headache. That's what Miami Dolphins safety Jake Scott was to the Washington Redskins in Super Bowl VII, the day the no-name defense did not allow a touchdown, and Scott became the second defender to earn MVP stripes. In Super Bowl XII, Doomsday dominated Denver, and Cowboy defensive end Harvey Martin shared MVP honors with pass rushing colleague Randy White. In Super Bowl XX, any member of the Chicago Bear pass rush could have been named MVP. In the end, defensive end Richard Dent got the nod. But as good as Mike Ditka's defense was against the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers allowed even fewer total yards in Super Bowl IX. Like the no-names in Super Bowl VII, the mighty Steel Curtain did not allow a touchdown. The last time that's ever been accomplished in Super Bowl competition. The first time it happened was Super Bowl VI, the day Doomsday did in the Dolphins. One year after their last-second loss to the Colts, Chuck Howley and the Cowboys allowed Miami a mere field goal. Then chased Dolphin quarterback Bob Griese into the Super Bowl Hall of Shame.
It was a highlight of the day. That seemed to ensure that we were probably going to win that football game on that particular play. When you see somebody chasing somebody that far back, and that's probably the longest lost yardage situation I've ever seen in football.
Greasy's retreat epitomized Miami's frustration, but he and his talented teammates would not be down long. One year later, the Miami Dolphins arrived for Super Bowl VII, undefeated. And as most of the free world watched, pro football history was made. A power ground game, punctuated by timely passing, helped Miami build a 14-0 halftime lead. With fate dealing ill fortune to the Washington Redskins, only self-destruction could keep Don Shula's Dolphins from a perfect season. Enter Garo Yepremian.
A 42-yard attempt by Yepremian. The kick is blocked, rolling loose on the field. It is picked up by Garo. He tries to throw a pass, deflected in the air, grabbed by Bass. 40, 35, 30. He's going to score.
I'm sure that he visualized himself catching a blocked field goal and throwing a touchdown pass, and that probably was the most upsetting thing that's ever happened to me. When Garo came over to the sideline, and I was pretty upset and let him know it.
And how does the tiny tie maker from Cyprus remember the event?
When I looked up, Bill Brundage was in front of me, and of course when he's in front of me and I'm 5'7" with my hair up, and he's in front of me is 6'4", 270 pounds, I couldn't see anything downfield. So, and I didn't realize my hands were too small. The ball just slipped out of my hands. And Mike Bass was a very good friend of mine, and since then we're much better friends. Picked it up and went for a touchdown. The only thing that bothers me is I didn't do it often enough. If I had thrown the pass more often, maybe I would have been a color analyzer on one of the networks.
The Dolphins held on to complete the NFL's first ever perfect season. But their unparalleled sporting achievement often takes a backseat to the comic footnote that accompanied it. For no matter how you dress them up, Super Bowls are still subject to the same slings and arrows of outrageous fortune that plague all human endeavors. Greatness grants no immunity. $200 million people giggle at every Super Bowl simpleton, not to mention the attention they attract on the field. In Super Bowl V, Earl Morrall and the Colts tried another flea flicker. Obviously, they didn't learn their lesson. In a game later dubbed the Blunder Bowl for its record number of turnovers, John Unitas threw his only Super Bowl touchdown. Bear in mind, however, that back then, pass receivers were not allowed to tip balls to teammates.
Fires out left side, incomplete, taken by... Goes off the fingertips of the intended receiver, bounced into the hands of John Mackey, and he goes in for the touchdown. The ball was tipped, but it was also touched by one of the Dallas Cowboys, and Bill Renfro is very
upset. Dallas's own brand of Super Bowl trickery was more carefully conceived and orchestrated. In the end, however, this particular bit of cleverness blew up in the Cowboys' faces. On the opening kickoff of Super Bowl X, Steeler kicker Roy Gerela was forced to make a saving tackle on Cowboy linebacker Thomas Henderson. Gerela was hurt on the play. Later, when Gerela missed a field goal, Cowboy safety Cliff Harris added insult to Gerela's injury. A huge mistake. Pittsburgh's Jack Lambert was incensed, and his fiery reprisal breathed life into the struggling Steelers. Pittsburgh went on to set a Super Bowl sack record, a mark later equaled by the Bears in Super Bowl 20. Lambert focused his fury on Dallas's ground game, single-handedly making it a non-factor. Later, when asked to identify the turning point of the contest, the Steelers all agreed. 'Twas when Jack made us all fight back. In Super Bowl 14, Lambert again was involved in the game's crucial moment.
Ferragamo back to pass, shoots it over the middle. Intercepted by the Steelers. Lambert at the 15, the 20. Lambert still on his feet, cutting to the middle of the field, and he's down at the 30-yard line. First interception of the game off the arm of Ferragamo. And for Pittsburgh Steelers fans, it could not have come at a better time with 5:24 to go in the game.
Waddy was wide open, Ray. Waddy was wide open, Ray, on the post.
Had Billy Waddy not been overlooked, would the outcome have been different? An interesting question. And Super Bowl history is full of such would-be turning points and squandered opportunities.
Back to pass, now goes Jaworski. Looking, being chased out of the pocket to the right. He's got running room, directing play, going deep, a bomb to the end zone. It is a touchdown!
He got it! Touchdown! Rodney! Oh, we got a penalty! Oh, we got a flag! Who's the penalty on? Darn rotten touchdown called back. Was that on Harold, Dick?
Indeed it was. And the Philadelphia Eagles never challenged again.
Play like you're world champions, now let's do it. Better never play, let's go. Montana to throw, steps back, throws for the end zone, intercepted. No, dropped. Holy mackerel, that was almost intercepted by Phillips. He had the ball in his hand and dropped it in the end zone.
Yes. Had it right in his hand. Second grabbed it in his hand. Oh.
The bottom line is this. World champions don't let opportunity slip through their fingertips. Like the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 12.
And the Cowboys have recovered the ball.
Like the Miami Dolphins in Super Bowl 17.
Was that almost the game breaker?
That
very,
was almost
very close.
A touchdown.
And number 58, Tim Bocamper, came very, very close to an interception for a touchdown. Joe Theismann with a heads-up play. My goodness.
Like the Dallas Cowboys and tight end Jackie Smith in Super Bowl 13.
Roger back to throw, has a man open in the end zone, caught, touchdown, drop! Dropped in the end zone, Jackie Smith all by himself.
I was embarrassed, humiliated to a great extent. And there were some unfair things, not unfair, just the press, said in the paper. And I never do pay much attention to those things, good or bad, and I didn't read it, but my wife read it, and she started crying, got her real upset.
Probably the most disappointing thing in my career is when Jackie dropped the ball, in the Super Bowl, because he wanted that win so bad.
Everybody on our team just felt really terrible that he couldn't have ended his career with the championship and the Super Bowl ring, which his career deserved.
Oh, bless his heart, he's got to be the sickest man in America. Oh, Jackie was so wide open in the end zone, it was incredible.
They gave me a ring, and I had it made into a necklace for my wife. There's more to me, and the reason I played it than to play for a ring and say, this is what it's all about. It's not what it's all about, in my mind.
Reverse. Here comes the reverse, boys. Yeah, here comes the reverse.
But the victory that ring represents is important. Even more so for teams trying to avenge prior defeats, such as Hank Stram's Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl IV.
Here it is. Move it. Oh, hey, move it up a little bit. You look at his foot here. My God, look where his front of the foot is and where you put the ball. Yeah, but here's, yeah. You did good. You did good. You marked it good. No, he's all right. That's good. You marked it good. You marked it good. You did a hell of a job. Nice going. Great job. You marked it good. That's an excellent call. Those officials are doing a hell of a job. Blaster, tell him 65 toss power trap. Get in there for 65 toss power trap.
Let's block. Come on, Lenny. Let's get 7 points. Come on, let's go.
65 toss power trap. It might pop wide open, Rats. Was it there, boys? Was that there, Rats? Nice going, baby. Yes, sir, Rats. Yes, sir, boys. Yeah! The Mentor. 65 toss power trap. Yeah! Yeah! I told you that, baby, that's there. Yes, sir, boys. Woo! Michael. Yeah, nice. Hey, let's go! Okay, let's go, boys. Let's go, babes. Was that there, boys? The elementary?
Saw it again on television.
Yo, Coach pumped it in there, boys. That's it, boy. Yes, sir, Rats. Yeah, that's it, boy. Nice going. Where's Otis? Where's Otis?
Hey, Mo.
Oh, Otis. Yeah. That's the way to inject that ball over the goal line. That's it.
While the Chiefs were winners in their second Super Bowl appearance, the Vikings' lopsided loss would only be the beginning of a record run of futility. 3 more times in the next 7 seasons, Minnesota ruled the NFC. Each time the Vikings were hammered in the Super Bowl. And all 3 defeats were marked by record-setting offensive performances by their opponent. In Super Bowl VIII, the Dolphins' Larry Zonka established a new standard with 145 rushing yards as Miami rolled over the Vikings 24-7. It was a record that lasted only 1 year. Super Bowl IX, Pittsburgh's Franco Harris glided through the Vikings defense for 158 yards. It was the second time in 2 years Minnesota surrendered a milestone performance. Two years later, the Oakland Raiders won their first NFL championship at the Vikings' expense. The largest Super Bowl crowd yet watched the Raiders amass 429 yards of offense, the most in the game's 11-year history. But the lingering image of Super Bowl XI was captured by the Raiders' defense. One play that stands as a monument to silver and black intimidation. time has not dulled the edge of Jack Tatum's piercing hit. It remains a vivid Super Bowl memory. So does this 75-yard interception return by Willie Brown that sealed the Raiders' 32-14 victory.
Willie Brown at the 30, 40, 50. He's going all the way. Old man Willie. Touchdown Raiders.
The Raiders would dominate pro football 2 more times, a tribute to their confident, arrogant, opportunistic defense.
What a day. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's like a dream come true. It's unbelievable. Yes, and we're going to win. We are going to win, no question.
In Super Bowl 15, Rod Martin grabbed a piece of history by picking off a record 3 passes as the Raiders grasped greatness for the second time.
Back is Jaworski. Now comes up the middle. Picked off. Rod Martin, the first time today. And Rod Martin once again slams the door in the face of the man they call Jaws. A sort of fitting symbol. Silver and black football is king of the hill in the National Football League.
3 years later against Washington, the Raiders wore the crown once again. The tone was set by the finest pair of cornerbacks in pro football. Number 22, Mike Haynes, slick and stylish. Number 37, Lester Hayes, rough and rowdy. The game's MVP was Marcus Allen, whose record 191 rushing yards included this masterpiece.
Getting to Allen, sending him wide left. He has to reverse his field, but he gets away for a moment. Comes back up the middle of 30, 25, 40. Fights past 2 men at the 50, down to the 40, picking up a blocker, to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown Raiders! Holy Toledo! 74 yards. The Raiders are mobbing Marcus Allen, who has just stood a crowd of 72,000 on its collective ear.
The year before, it was the Redskins' John Riggins who turned short yardage into long distance in the fourth quarter.
Goal line, goal line. I left tight wing, 70 chip on white. Ready?
Here comes the Diesel. Here comes the Diesel. Here comes with John Riggins right up the middle. Right up over the middle.
Yellow 41!
There's the snap, and to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
Riggins' run propelled Washington to its first Super Bowl title. As a single play, it has earned a place among the most memorable moments in NFL championship history. The Redskins' other Super Bowl victory in the 80s featured a memorable game by another back. Timmy Smith ran for 204 yards against the Denver Broncos in the greatest rushing performance ever on Super Sunday. But Super Bowl 22 will always be remembered for Doug Williams and what will forever be known as the quarter. Yet before the quarter, there was the injury. For a long moment, it appeared that Williams' date with destiny had suffered a cruel twist of fate.
Well, it was an empty feeling, and at that particular time, I had doubts whether or not I was able to complete the ball game. But when I was able to roll over and stand up and walk off, I said to myself, no matter what the pain, I was going to finish this football game.
The Washington Redskins offense is back on the football field, and so is number 17, Doug Williams. Play action fake. Williams going up top. Got Sanders on the fly at midfield. He's gone.
This 80-yard touchdown on Washington's first offensive play of the second quarter ignited the most stunning 15 minutes of football in NFL history.
Well, Doug Williams and company light it up, and they're back in this game.
Yes, sir. We're coming back. We're going to do it.
Williams to pass, lobs it up. He's got Clark at the goal line. He's got it. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. The Redskins have arrived. They woke up. He'll hand off to Smith, the deep back. Good hole. Midfield. Horse race to the 40. Far side 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown.
You're watching history. This is history in the making.
Touchdown, Washington Redskins. That's a new Super Bowl record. 4 touchdowns in 1 quarter. We are seeing a virtuoso performance. Get another one right here. Let's see. Do they go up top? Lobs it into the end zone. He's got Didier. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. Holy cow.
Most valuable player of Super Bowl 22 is quarterback Doug Williams of the Washington Redskins.
For one magical quarter, Doug Williams was the best who ever played. 15 minutes that will be forever frozen in time. For Jim Plunkett, Super Bowl 15 was a game for the ages. Yet 2 years before that historic day in New Orleans, Plunkett was released outright by the 49ers, his career seemingly over. The Raiders gave him the chance to rediscover faith, especially in himself.
Plunkett drops back to pass, steps up, he looks, over the middle, he's got it, touchdown Raiders! Plunkett on a straight drop back, steps up, can't find anybody else, takes off running to the left, rolls on the move, and it's caught by King at the 40. That is Plunkett, time to throw, deep to the end zone to Branch, it is caught by Branch, touchdown Raiders! Holy Toledo! Jim Plunkett climaxing as great a comeback as sports has ever witnessed.
Jim Plunkett's determined 3-touchdown performance earned him the MVP award. His refusal to quit made Super Bowl 15 one of the sport's most enduring. Plunkett and Williams added to the legacy of quarterback achievement that began with Bart Starr of the Green Bay Packers. In each of the first 2 Super Bowls, Starr was named Most Valuable Player. He was the consummate field general, a precision passer, and a tough-minded leader. Super Bowl 3. And again, the face of victory belonged to a quarterback. Brash Joe Namath backed up his bold declaration of a championship as the New York Jets proclaimed parity for the other league. The following year, it was the Chiefs' Len Dawson who delivered a near-flawless performance as the AFL again dominated. In Super Bowl 6, Roger Staubach became the 5th quarterback in 6 years to earn MVP honors. "13 times, the outstanding player has been a quarterback. But no one can touch the game Phil Simms had in Super Bowl 21. Against Denver, the Giants quarterback connected on 22 of 25 passes. That's 88%, the highest completion percentage in the 24 years of the Super Bowl. Simms' milestone performance is perhaps the greatest single-game achievement in Super Bowl history. Yet, no quarterback has created more lasting images than Terry Bradshaw. And no team has produced more memories than the Pittsburgh Steelers. The magic of Bradshaw and receivers John Stallworth and Lynn Swann remains as striking today as when it happened more than a decade ago. In a 6-year period, the Bradshaw-led Steelers won the Super Bowl 4 times, an unparalleled record of achievement.
It was the greatest feeling in the world, man, when you know you're good. Oh, it's good. It's a good feeling. If God would come down right now, Terry, what can I do for you? Send me and put me back in one Super Bowl and put me on the 1 foot line and give me 2 minutes to go and give me all 3 of my timeouts and give me my boys. And then let me hear my name over the loudspeaker. Let me hear the roar of the crowd. Bradshaw, Bradshaw. Let me have them booing on one side. Let me get in and call plays, see the eyes grow as I call these plays and talk to them. Let me feel the hair on my back crawl up. I mean, that's what the Super Bowl does to you. I mean, it's doing it right now to me. I mean, I could go out right now and play. I know I can play 2 minutes.
The Bradshaw legend began to take shape in Super Bowl 10 against the Dallas Cowboys. Most people remember the remarkable catches by Swann. They were truly unforgettable and decisive. This fourth quarter touchdown was the game winner. But the play was really a tribute to Bradshaw. He stepped up to take his shot at a second consecutive Super Bowl championship. That one play stamped Bradshaw a winner. He had the heart and the will of a champion. Super Bowl 14 against the Los Angeles Rams. Again, fearless and focused in the pocket, and another touchdown to Swann. But this Super Bowl turned on one memorable play.
I hadn't run it all game, and Chuck sent the play in on 3rd down. He sent it in, and we're on the sideline, and you guys are probably the ones that are filming. He takes his hand and tries to knock, get away from here, and he has me. And he's telling me the only way we're going to beat these guys, we got to go deep.
One of the best deep passes pro football has seen crafted a moment that elevated both himself and his team to a place in history.
Bradshaw calls out the signals. Remember, Pittsburgh, the most dangerous fourth quarter team in the NFL.
Now Bradshaw pumping, firing downfield. There goes Stallworth. He pulls it in at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, and it's a touchdown for Pittsburgh on the ball to Stallworth. And Stallworth beat Rod Perry. Oh, did he beat him? And the Steelers fire right back on the arm of Terry Bradshaw.
It was a phenomenal catch. I mean, a phenomenal catch. And the defensive backs couldn't have missed that ball by more than a quarter of an inch.
Amazingly, the same play later in the game sealed Pittsburgh's record 4th Super Bowl championship.
Bradshaw back to pass. He throws long down the center of the field for Stallworth. He's got it at the 25 and down at the 22.
All championship quarterbacks have one thing in common. That's a great desire and will to win, and an emotional ability to block out the negative and overcome any adversity and to not panic. It's a special quality, and I look back on my career and I know I had it.
Now that the 1980s have ended, it's clear that another quarterback has that special quality. Joe Montana shares something else with Terry Bradshaw: 4 Super Bowl rings. Yet it took the most dramatic finish in the game's 24-year history for Montana and the San Francisco 49ers to sustain their run at this extraordinary milestone. Super Bowl 23. Montana was looking at the short end of a 16-13 score. What made the task so imposing was the time remaining and the distance to be traveled.
With 3:10 remaining, the 49ers will have to go from their 8-yard line. There is a lot staring them in the face. Montana back to throw on first down. Throws over the middle, completes it to Craig. Craig is to the 16. 2:35 remaining. Montana throws, sidelines, right, 30-yard line. Montana with a first down. Throws out here for Rice. He has it at midfield, goes out of bounds at about the 40. Wide receivers near side. Montana to throw. Completes it up the middle to Craig.
Get the halfback. Somebody get the halfback.
Craig is down to the 36-yard line. Another 49er first down. Montana trying to drive him the length of the field here with the game in the balance. 16-13, the Bengals lead. Montana back to throw. Throws over the middle on a 5-catch by Rice. Right to the 20. He's down to the 19 for a first down for the 49ers. And the 49ers let the clock run. They haven't called timeout. Montana going without a huddle. 52 seconds remaining. Joe back to throw. He looks. He throws. He completes it to Craig. He's down to the 10. 40 seconds remaining. The 49ers will have to take a timeout here, and they do.
It's such a sight to watch this. It is, whether it happens now or not, to watch Joe Montana do this so many years, and to watch this absolute surgeon on the football field and one of the all-time greats do his thing again, it's almost like poetry.
No way. We got to do it. One turnover,
At the 10-yard line, 39 seconds remaining. Back to throw Montana. Steps up, throws. Touchdown! A 10-yard pass. The 49ers have scored with 34 seconds remaining.
34 seconds away from it.
Montana to Taylor for 10 yards, but they went 92 yards in 11 plays. Super Bowl victories in the 1980s as they win it on a brilliant drive, 20-16.
1 year later, in January of 1990, the 49ers marched into the Superdome in New Orleans, determined to secure their piece of history. The Denver Broncos were sacrificed at the Temple of Montana in the greatest story ever told by a Super Bowl quarterback.
Fake by Montana. Launches it for the end zone. Jerry Rice. Oh, what a catch by Rice. Touchdown. 49ers. 38-yard touchdown pass down the middle.
You got to play a whole nother half. So, ain't nothing you can do. Beat, man. Get after 59 Razor. 59 Razor.
In the second half, the carnage continued.
Montana drops back to throw, looks over the field, goes for the end zone. Jerry Rice, touchdown 49ers!
That's one way to describe Joe Montana's record-setting 5-touchdown performance. In this ultimate team triumph, one man's achievements will forever stand alone.
And here comes Joe out of the ballgame. And this gives Joe Montana a chance to get what he deserves, a tremendous ovation from this crowd at the Superdome, and people on their feet. A lot of standing O's out there for Joe Montana's spectacular performance again today. Could very well be his third Super Bowl MVP award.
In the 1980s, the 49ers were the masters of the game. In the 70s, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers who were a cut above. Extraordinary teams, powerful performances. The Super Bowl is professional sports' true passion play. One game is all you get to shape your fate. With history the judge, the contest becomes epic in scope, grand in scale, larger than life. And make no mistake, history can be cruel to those who lose. But win, and you've gained something permanent. A piece of football immortality. The Super Bowl, always memorable, often magical. Just listen to Terry Bradshaw.
Every player, in my opinion, should have experienced at least one Super Bowl to know how different and how special the game really is. You can talk about it, we can show highlights, you can interview players like myself. Every player has to walk out on that stadium and feel the skin on his roll and the hair crawl up on his back and hear the crowd and how deafening it is, and to feel the magnitude of the greatest spectacle on earth just one time. He'll never forget it.